How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you.
Oh, and your
for
helpers
asking.
are here.
That's right. Oh, you're looking wonderful.
Oh my goodness. You know what's so funny? We are like really anxious to get started with Christmas, even though we haven't even had Thanksgiving. But that's okay, because in San Francisco, we are celebrating this holiday cheer. We're going to enjoy this holiday season because last year during this pandemic, it was so hard for us to come together. So Santa, are you going to be delivering those toys this year?
Oh, lots of toys. We're going to break through the gridlock at the Port of Oakland. We're going to get all the toys for the good boys and girls.
Thank you,
Yes.
Santa. Santa's going to go with his sleigh and go and do what he needs to do to get all those toys all to all the kids all over the city. So, hi, everybody. I'm San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and it is so great to be here with all of you on Chestnut Street in the heart of the marina. I was just here this weekend, and this area was buzzing. People were everywhere, shopping, dining, and hanging out. And so it's good to see all of you here today. Ooh, I hope that's not COVID. I got my mask, don't worry. Anyway, it's great to be here at one of my favorite places to shop. EI Candle, or EI Home, but I call it EI Candle because I buy all my candles here. Now let me just say this, and I'm glad to have the owner, Eric, with us today. If you want any kind of candle that smells like anything, including Christmas, this is the place to come. I've been shopping here for a really long time, and there are so many unique businesses like EI all over San Francisco. And in fact, they have gifts, they have candles, they have things that are unique to San Francisco. And part of the launch of today's campaign has everything to do with reminding you how special San Francisco is, how unique San Francisco is, how when you shop at a place like this, you find something that you may not find at any other store anywhere. So today, as we kick off Shop and Dine in the 49, we're asking San Franciscans and people who visit our city to shop locally, shop on Haight Street, shop on Chestnut Street, shop on Union Street, shop in Hayes Valley, shop in the Sunset, in the Inner Sunset, and other places where you see all these incredible, unique stores. Because not only do we help to ensure that these storefronts remain open and available in these thriving neighborhoods, we make sure that we support our economy. With just a small increase in shopping locally, that can increase our support in revenues to the city by millions of dollars pouring into our economy to help businesses, to help employees, and to help continue to make sure we're making the kinds of investments that we know will continue to support San Francisco. And so it is great to be here with so many people to shop and dine in the 49. Since I knew I was coming here today, I already know which candles I need today. And in fact, one of my friends had a baby, so they have baby clothes in there. They have pet toys and other really cute, unique gifts. And lastly, let me just say this, because I know that it's been really challenging, not just with this pandemic, but what we've seen with a number of the things that we see on the news around the burglaries and the robberies and other things that happen in San Francisco. I want to be clear that we are not going to let what others try to do to our city define who we are as a city. We are better than this, and the reason why you see now, especially during the holiday season, a significant increase in the police and the ambassadors and other things is because we are going to make sure that we do everything we can to keep our city safe. The people, the employees, the merchants, and the residents alike. So I want to thank the San Francisco Police Department for their hard work and for being here with us today. I saw them here late into the hours on Chestnut Street on Saturday night. They were working. They weren't out hanging out and drinking and stuff. They were working. And so we're grateful for their service, and we're grateful for everything that they've done to serve and protect this city. And so with that, I want to take the opportunity to just, again, thank all of you for being here, and happy Thanksgiving. And with that, please help me welcome our Executive Director of the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce, Rodney Fong.
Thank you.
You bought something?
I did. Hang on. Mayor Breed, don't go too far away, because a little bird told me that one of your favorite candles is in here. So I know it's been a tough year for you, and want to thank you for all the work that you've done. So I believe it's one of your favorite candles, Petite Louise.
Yes, number
There,
8.
and let the air flow well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just a little bit of a kickoff to the time of giving here in San Francisco on Chestnut Street. And just for a moment, the Chamber of Commerce has been around for 171 years, and 53% of its membership are small businesses, many of them on this street. Some of these small businesses, just for note, have been around on Chestnut Street for a very long time. Luca Deli, Fireside Camera, and they're still alive and thriving. So patronize them, shop locally here as we celebrate Shop and Dine in the 49. Just want to also just mention that San Francisco is unique, as the mayor talked about, from a retail perspective. We know it's been difficult, but there are very many fun, fine things that you can find that are handmade here in San Francisco, many of them from San Francisco made, manufactured locally. So enjoy Shop and Dine in the 49, and I'm going to pass it off to someone who's important for commerce, and that is Miguel from MasterCard. So Miguel?
Thank you very much. I'll be brief. This is a fantastic occasion to be back, not just with you, but to help small business come back here in San Francisco. We all know in our communities that we live in that small businesses are a key component of that community, not only for the commerce and the economy, but frankly for the community itself and the society itself that surrounds them. And at MasterCard, we see that in every community we serve, every community we're engaged in, how important the small business community is to that. And so we have been investing heavily in helping that small business through the pandemic to digitize themselves and compete in that new reality. And now as we focus on recovery, helping them come back stronger and better than they were before. Partnerships like this with Mayor Breed, San Francisco, and the Shop and Dine in the 49, it's been around since when I lived here. It was an incredible opportunity to come back and invest here in San Francisco and help the small business community here thrive and grow and demonstrate leadership for how we can do this around the world. So thank you so much. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you for hosting us. It's a pleasure to be here, and we look forward to continuing our engagement and partnership here in San Francisco.
Thank you very much for everyone coming today. And please don't forget to shop shop local with us this season. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric. And Eric is the owner of EI Home. And I just really want to also thank Miguel and MasterCard for providing the resources to help advertise the Shop and Dine in the 49, just to remind people to shop locally. Usually on Black Friday, the day after Christmas, most of the time, most of the time I'm probably the first one at the door at like 5 or 6 in the morning, but I decided I'm not going to do that because I'm going to make sure that I'm able to get up on Friday and go out in the neighborhoods. I become a new plant mom since this pandemic, so I'm going to be shopping for plants at various locations and shopping for gifts and toys. Toys are really hard to find nowadays, but I am hopeful that we can get some toys and other great things all over San Francisco. So again, I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you, Santa. I think Santa's Elves is passing out some bags for something. Make sure you fill those bags with local gifts all up and down Chestnut Street. And thank you all again so much for coming here today. Christian?
Just want to see how do you make sure that people get that messaging about coming shopping in San Francisco you touched on this a little bit, but with the images going on, with what's happening with mass retail theft,
Yes.
what are you telling people to make sure that they still turn out and shop?
Oh, I forgot to make one important announcement. Through the end of the year, all of the city-owned parking garages, there's a lot of them in downtown, there'll be 2 hours free parking, which is almost unheard of in San Francisco. So I think how we get the word out is, what's happening and what just happened this past weekend is people have noticed an increased presence of our police officers. They've noticed our ambassadors. They've noticed some changes. And we're hoping that not only will the media help us to get the word out, but our advertisement through the Shop and Dine, social media, and also word of mouth. I have been getting a lot of great responses from people about their experiences in shopping downtown this past weekend. I was down there myself just to, see how people feel. I know that people feel a certain kind of way because there are a number of stores that are boarded up, but they're still showing up, they're still shopping, and we are still there. We have our police officers in those garages as well. We have an escort program. We have a number of ambassadors. We're keeping the streets clean, and we're gonna work at this every single day. So we are hopeful that people will come back, and I think this past weekend when you saw all those folks out ice skating, shopping, going to restaurants and hanging out, the city was jumping. There were people who were going to plays at Golden Gate Theater and the Orpheum. There was a performance at the Warfield. I mean, San Francisco was really packed, jam-packed on Saturday and Sunday, and we're hopeful those experiences will lead to others knowing that we're going to do everything we can to keep our city safe and to open it for business, and we're hopeful that we will turn that image around.
There's been a lot of tough talk, which is a good thing for a lot of these people to assure people the city's safe. But how are you going to hold people accountable to show people that this isn't going to happen again in San Francisco?
Well, I got to say, part of what we're doing to hold people accountable and what is within my ability to do so is, number one, make sure that we have officers who are out on the streets and on the ground. And once the arrests are made, we are hopeful that our DA will prosecute. It is my understanding that today he either already made an announcement or will be making an announcement about felony charges on the 8 people that we were able to arrest during, what happened this past Friday. So I think ultimately, yeah, there is a lot of tough talk, but, talk doesn't mean anything unless we can demonstrate that we've actually followed through on what we say we're going to do, and people are held accountable for the crimes that they commit in our city.
Any concerns about COVID going into the holidays surge?
Of course there are concerns about COVID going into the holiday. That's why we're asking people to get vaccinated and get your flu shot. I got mine on the same day. I got my booster shot and I got a flu shot, and so far I'm okay. And that was about 2 weeks ago.
My colleagues did an interview with the chief yesterday. One of the things you guys talked about was the surveillance cameras. Obviously, the current laws in the city, the police can't watch them live. Is that something that we think we need to revisit, or what's your view on this?
I think that part of what we need to be able to do, we understand that there are privacy laws and we don't want to violate anybody's rights, but at the end of the day, we have to be strategic around how we provide safety. And being able to access these cameras to deal with some of the most violent of crimes in our city is important. And, I know we've dealt with this issue many, many years ago in our public housing sites where, the number of homicides that occurred weren't being solved, and people would witness this, but they were concerned about their own safety. And having cameras were significant in helping us to solve a lot of these crimes and actually prosecute people for them. So definitely it's a conversation that needs to be had and a change that we need to make, and we will work on with our chief on trying to make some changes to that.
Feel particularly vulnerable if for something to that level can happen to big retail, big brands. What kind of protection or reassurance can you give small business owners throughout, the city who have experienced a lot of stuff in the pandemic?
Yeah, I think a couple of things we've been doing and some resources we allocated. Like, for example, we've had small businesses that have had their windows broken, and not necessarily for theft, but just random acts. And so we have a broken windows fund that we've provided for small businesses and provided resources in the budget. We also, through our Department of Office of Economic and Workforce Development, working with merchants to install more cameras on their establishments. We can't put a camera on somebody's business or somebody's property, but we try to work with the businesses, and we have provided the funding for hundreds of cameras all over the city. And the latest one we just did with SF Safe was in Chinatown in particular. So really the outreach that we're doing with the Office of OEWD and talking to and working with small businesses, we're trying to help when they do experience those particular problems with either grants or no interest loans. We've had to do a lot of that in one-on-one discussions with businesses, working with the Council of District Merchants and the Merchants Association. I know that there are a number of businesses that have been hard hit, and we've been able to provide support in some of those instances, not in every single instance.
Just one more, but the chief is available afterwards as well.
Okay.
No,
Go ahead.
Have you finalized any plans to close any streets around Union Square to through traffic?
Yeah, we have not finalized the plans to close any streets through traffic, but right now what's happening is some of the main points of entry in the evening time to Union Square have been cut off. We are cutting those things off from, what time is it, Chief?
7 till 6 in the morning.
So it's 7 p.m. till 6 in the morning, and we're looking at permanent street closures. And the goal is, of course, to make it difficult for cars to commit the acts that they have, where they have basically bum rushed these stores, taken a lot of items and jumped in their vehicles and taken off. We're trying to look at ways in order to make downtown shopping experience more safe for pedestrians, because this is not just about stolen goods. This is about in the process of getting away and how someone can get hurt. And so having the ability to shop without concern about a vehicle hitting you is really important. And so we're currently working with MTA to have those discussions. So thank you all. And after you've finished wrapping up your cameras, make sure you go and eat at one of the restaurants on Chestnut Street. What a beautiful day in San Francisco where you don't even have to wear a jacket to hang out here. So thank you all so much for being here.